This is the new Hyundai Ioniq 6N. Yeah, it's a car that sits above the 5N, which I really like, and it gets some substantial changes compared with that model, even though it has the same power output, 650 horsepower and 770 newton meters of torque, which is a lot. But this does things very differently. Let me show you why. Now, if you just think this is a Ioniq 5N in a new frock, you're wrong, because it's very different underneath. I mean, firstly, the body shape is considerably different. Not only is it a bit longer, it's got a 15mm longer wheelbase, it's also got a slightly slipperier shape, which should help with high-speed performance. But also, as you'll see down here, the nose is far less butch, and we've got some active aero on the front here, which is both good for cooling and also grip. Talking of grip, Hyundai has chosen for its 6N a Pirelli P0 tyre, obviously with a bespoke compound developed partly at the Nürburgring. Now, this tyre, interestingly, is wrapped around the wheel, which is smaller than the 5Ns because it's 20 inches in diameter. I know 20 inches is small these days, but that does mean we've got a bit more sidewall, which should help with ride, as should the new suspension technology, which is arguably the biggest change in this car compared to the 5N, because this car has an active system that doesn't just change depending on the drive mode, but it's also constantly evaluating what the hell's going on the road and tweaks the damping to suit. So in theory, if you hit a bump, or indeed if you carry a load of speed through a corner, it's constantly thinking, how do I make this even better and, crucially, even more fun? Now, the rear of the car is potentially the most divisive because, yeah, it's got a whacking great wing on the top of it here, which means if you're trying to be subtle, you're not going to be with this. Yes, it does double up as a baby's nappy changing bench, I guess, as well, so it could be practical, but really it's here for the downforce, as is the little spoiler bit here, because they've developed this car and its aero not just on the Nordschleife and the Nürburgring, but also in Korea and other circuits as well. So it means this car generates as much downforce at the rear as it does at the front. Apparently it's more stable and more balanced aerodynamically because of it, and yeah, it looks extremely aggressive. What do you think of the design down here? This is all black, of course, and you've got little tiny lights in there and two tail lights either side. I quite like it. I actually didn't notice these until much later, but I think the design is cool, it looks swoopy, it looks purposeful, and yes, of course, with this slightly elongated rear here versus the 5, it should be slipperier through the air, which should help with range, although you're probably not going to drive it in a particularly efficient way, are you? Let me show you why. Because look what we've got here. This being a Hyundai N product and it's electric, we've got shift paddles, which means it simulates a combustion engine, just like the 5N. But there have been some key changes that make this thing drive very differently. But before I tell you about that on the road, I'll just show you the general setup up here. It carries all the best bits from the 5N over. I mean, of course, it carries from the Ioniq 6 as well. And that means you've got clear, crisp, easy to use screens. We've got some manual-ish climate control buttons, although some of them are touch sensitive, but they just work okay. And the buttons on the steering wheel are really good. And my favorite are the ones that turn off all the annoying bings and bongs, which I'll show you in a little bit. The seats are lovely and racy. They're buckets. They look similar to what you get in a 5N. They don't go quite as low as I'd like. I'd like another, I don't know, inch lower, but do you know what? Overall, feels purposeful, feels racy, and you grip a properly circular wheel with buttons with N modes and those shift paddles. Oh, I can't wait to drive this thing. Oh, and if you're wondering, does all that fun and does all that N-ness come at the cost of space in the back? The answer is no, because these seats are really slim, so there's loads of legroom in the back, still not tons of headroom because the Ioniq 6 shape does cut into headroom. They're billing this as the more family-friendly car, but as far as rear headroom goes, the 5N is probably the better car. But the boot in this is nice and generous, it's nice and long, albeit a bit narrow. The numbers on this car are pretty bonkers. I mean, we've got an 84 kilowatt hour battery, which is not so bonkers, but the electric motors will rev to 21,000 RPM. And I know in the world of EVs, that's not completely insane, but because these motors are slightly different and because they've been tuned with a harder punch, this will hit 62 miles per hour in 3.2 seconds, which is 0.2 quicker than the 5N, even though on paper they have the same power output. Some of that, by the way, is down to the smaller wheels. It changes the gearing. Some of it's because it's 50 kilograms lighter, but some of it is to do with motor technology. Oh, and also, if you're wondering, it will power on to an Autobahn appropriate 160 miles per hour. I can't wait to drive this thing, but first I just want to say thank you for choosing to watch my video. If you are enjoying it, please do hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Right, let's get going. So how do all those technical changes and that very extreme setup, well, how does that translate onto the open road? Do you know what? First impressions are, it doesn't feel massively overly extreme. It doesn't feel too tensed up. You're definitely aware of the rigidity in the structure, but you know, there's some give in the suspension, the steering is light, the elasticity, the electric powertrain, it's quick if I put my foot down, but it's not a violent car if you don't want it to be. But if you carry a bit of speed into a hairpin, you suddenly start to feel a bit of communication through the chassis, through the floor of the car. There are signs this is a performance machine, but generally it just feels like a Ioniq 6, one that keeps binging at you until you press, thank God, the shortcut buttons on the steering wheel to switch all the annoying stuff off. Hyundai really does know how to do ergonomics. I'm not using the gear shifters now. At the moment, they're actually just regenning the car. So if I press this up here, the regen goes to 0, the car rolls along like an automatic. If I click left here, now I've got some really strong regen, which slows down the car like, you know, pretty usefully. So I probably won't have to brake apart from in emergencies. But the engine simulated sound is really the way I know what speed I'm doing. And of course, all the speed limit alert pings as well. Sounds a bit like a flat 6 in a 911, albeit one that you're not changing gear with. It's quite nice. So I've put it into N mode. That means now the central display, I've got the rev counter here. Now, of course, these shift paddles are no longer adjusting regen. They're adjusting my simulated gearbox with a crackle of exhaust out back there as well. The fact that they've continued this but just tweaked it is a very good thing, because it was the best thing about the 5N. But here we've got some subtle changes, not just to the actual tone of the simulated engine, which, by the way, it still sounds a bit silly, but very, very fun. But we've also got different simulated gear ratios. Now they are shorter, so we've still got 8 speeds, but they're more tightly stacked. If I just drop into second gear, put my foot down, yeah, I'm already up into third at 80 kilometers an hour. So it feels like after first, they're a much closer ratio. So you're more encouraged to shift gears, which is obviously more fun. Still sounds a bit gamey. This sounds like a flat 6 in a Gran Turismo game, not a real life flat 6 now, which is because it's slightly tweaked in this mode. Apparently it's been inspired by Hyundai's actual race cars, the things they take down to the Nürburgring. So that includes their i20s and their i30s. I think it sounds cool. But my favorite thing that's always been the case with these electric N cars, the 5N obviously being the only one before this, is that even when you come off the power, even when you use the gears for engine braking, it does that. It simulates engine braking, and also that's true when you're rolling down a hill. And if I shift up into top gear here, let's get it into 8th gear, put my foot down, I've got no torque. It's lugging, it's struggling to put the power down. So that means I actually do have to shift down if I want to accelerate. That is simulating a petrol engine in its, well, I guess in its negatives. If it was an electric car, it wouldn't matter what revs you're pulling. Even from 0, you get all of your performance. It's just so detailed. I love the amount of effort they put in, and now they've evolved to give you that simulated feeling. But the best thing about this car, and the best thing that was true in the 5N as well, is that's only part of the picture, because really this car is also all about the chassis. But there have been some big changes in that as well. So how does that translate? This is where it feels more at home. I mean, it feels at home out on the open road as well, but you can't do this. One thing that was true in the 5N and remains true in this is it is just a silly, silly car, but one that still has tremendous mechanical grip, but then fantastic throttle adjustability. The car is actually quite stable. If you drive it sensibly, right on the anchor, Sam, yeah, tip it in. If you drive it sensibly and you're a bit, let's just say you lean on the front axle, it does naturally push, like it's quite predictable, it's quite sensible, it's not particularly spiky, but if you come into a corner like this with your simulated gears, oh, it comes round all right. I was a bit cautious there, I didn't want to throw it off on the corner exit, but you learn to trust it. I mean, here, I'm doing 135 kilometers an hour and I'm using the accelerator to turn the car. That's really impressive how predictable, how manageable it is. Of course, we have all-wheel drive, but more torques go into the rear. And so, you know, we've got 650 horsepower in boost mode, over 600, and obviously over 750 newton meters of torque as well. Oh. You can load up on the front. It does push a little bit on the nose if you do that. It's not really pointy. The negative camber I felt out on the roads, which were We're helping me get the car turned in. Here, I need a bit more. They say there's between 1.5 and 2 degrees of negative camber. They won't give you the exact figure. Doesn't look as much as I have on my Clio, which is running -2. So let's call it 1.6-ish, which is, you know, sports car-y, but it's not extreme. And I think I could definitely do with a little bit more negative camber. There's no issues with getting the car rotated on power, but on turning, I just want a little bit more pointiness. It's quick, honestly, it's rapid, obviously, not surprisingly. I mean, 770 Newton meters with boost mode. I mean, I don't bother with the buttons because there's so much torque and performance. I don't need to press N-Grin boost mode because I'm already boosting the hell out of this thing, or it certainly feels that way. And of course, 0 to 62 in 3.2 seconds, but once you're rolling, because it's an electric car, that doesn't really let off. It's not like supercars and sports cars with petrol power, where as the gearing gets taller, they start to lose puff. This thing, it's all simulated gearing, but it's still got immense amounts of muscle. 160 mile an hour top speed, and I feel like it could, you know, shove you in the back just as quickly at 150 to 160. It is really, really impressive. The brakes, by the way, a lot of people say these brakes feel too not assisted enough. But they definitely are. I actually think that there's really strong bite, but the pedal isn't too over assisted, so it means you can really modulate the braking. Case in point, 250 meters, bang on the brakes. I'm having to put quite a lot of effort into the pedal, but that means I can modulate it. When I felt the ABS just tickling itself on, I just peel off the brake. It's like a fucking rocket ship.
And just like the 5N, the 6N gets a drift mode, but it's updated with more customization, so you can turn tyres into smoke in your own way.
Yeah, that was quite fun, wasn't it? You can tell that I really like this car, especially because of its simulated gear changes. As I said, if you haven't driven one and you think it's rubbish, go and drive one, please. They're so much fun. These gear shifts are way more than just the flat out stuff. There's so much detail. I mean, the fact that they allow you to put it in normal mode with it in the gear simulating setting and then leave it in automatic, so you can just trundle around with it short shifting itself like you're in a Golf R or an M3 in auto mode. They didn't need to do that, but they did, and I'm so happy they have, because it makes it such a stretched car in terms of the parameters and the fun it offers. Honestly, this is definitely the most fun you can have in an electric car, at least this side of £1 million. And of course, it will do track days, and better yet, Hyundai is investing in charging stations at track days across the world. They've got one in Korea, I think they've got 4 at the Nordschleife actually, which means you can go and charge your car up if you're doing laps of the Nürburgring for free. Yeah, get that, for free. And I hope, because they got some deals going on with MSV in the UK, maybe that will come to Britain soon. Here's hoping, anyway. But for now, first impressions are more serious, bit better riding, even quicker, still just as fun. Maybe the 5N is a bit more of a lunatic, but this, it's brilliant. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Which would you take, this or the 5N? Or are you thinking, nah, don't want either of them? Let me know. And of course, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to show your support.